My name is Dianne L. Morale, and I live on a farm in Schuyler, Nebraska.
We've been married for almost 55 years. We have 2 sons, 2 wonderful daughters-in-laws, and 5 grandsons.
About 20-some years ago, I was diagnosed with a pinhole in my aortic valve, and it got to the point that they decided that I needed to have that valve replaced. February 4th, I was scheduled to have surgery to replace that valve. I came through that okay. But then on February 8th, I was supposed to go home, and my feet swelled up, and they decided to keep me for another day. I had just glanced at the clock, and it was 11:11, believe it or not, and all of a sudden I got a black glob across my eye, and then I saw flashes of like red, green, yellow, and that was it. I flatlined.
And I'm sitting there reading my paper, and the next thing I know, there's all kinds of people around her bed. And this female nurse come up and grabbed me and said, "You got to get out of here, you got to get out of here." And I kept asking her, "What's going on, what's going on?" And she wouldn't say, and I heard somebody yelling for the cart, "Get that cart in here." Well, right when we got to the door, they come with this big cart, about run me over. And I guess that was what they used to shock her with.
The next thing that I actually remember was 10 to 11 people around me. I remember being rushed down to surgery.
You know, I knew this was serious, and it must have been maybe 20, 25 minutes later, Kevin, the nurse, came out. He said that Diane had a heart attack, but that she was alive and stable.
Actually, what happened is either a piece of my valve or a blood clot came and actually covered up my whole right artery. So I was not getting any oxygen, you know, just nothing.
That afternoon was just kind of a daze.
What they did is they actually had to take a vein out of my leg and had to do a bypass. On Saturday morning, when I actually woke up, I knew that I had the breathing tube in me, and I was in extreme pain, and actually my heart was in AFib then. My doctor came in on Sunday, and he decided, he said, "If your heart doesn't get out of AFib, we're gonna have to shock you again." A nurse came in that evening. They said that I would have to sign the papers by 12 o'clock that night, but she came in at 11, it was like 11:40, and she said, "You know what? I keep thinking it's gonna go in, it's gonna go in, and I will be," she no more than went out of the door, and she came back, and she said it went back into rhythm. She said, "If we can keep it there, this is gonna be great." The whole thing is, I know that all of this happened for a reason. And I think it was to tell my story. I really do. I found out later that they had to shock me like 2 to 3 times. My heart would start, but then it would stop. They finally gave me adrenaline, And that kept me going. The story that I'd like to tell everybody is I had an awesome experience when I died. All of a sudden, I was above a Navy ship, and it was white on the outside and white on the inside, but it had the most beautiful crystals around it. And it was just, I can't even tell you how white it was. And the crystals just shined. Then I saw the Navy captains, and there was so many of them. And what I remember the most was their black bill on their Navy hats, because they were dressed in their whites. And I can't even tell you how many there was. It was just a huge amount of them. But in the back of them was all the sailors, and they were all in their whites. And then in the back of them was all the people. And they were partying, and they were happy. And all of a sudden, I saw the crystals on their shoulders. And down the back of them, they were all white. But in the front was the most glorious colors. They just beamed. They were all like reds, greens, pinks, you know, whatever. And I was basically just kind of floating above everybody. And all of a sudden, my mind said, I really want to see my grandkids grow up. And then, all of a sudden, the good Lord said to me, I want you to spread more love in the world. And just like that, I started floating back, and all these people were waving goodbye to me. Everybody waved goodbye to me. And the next thing I knew, I was back in my room. That is the first story that I told my husband when he came in the morning after they took the breathing tube out.
I believed her. First of all, I believed her that she had seen something. And what, I don't know. You know, she described it very nicely and stuff, and if that's what's waiting for us, I hope she's right. But it's a beautiful thing, it really is.
I feel blessed that I had such an experience. You know, I really am fortunate to be alive. And God is a wonderful person.
I think, like I said, I think we're very blessed. You know, I'm 79, and a lot of people don't make the 79.
They have just came heaps and bounds with what they can do with the heart. I mean, the pacemaker, you know, it's just, so if people can try to take care of their health and go to doctors and see what it is, I mean, they can do amazing things nowadays. You know, it's amazing what they have, how far they have came in the cycle. I think one of the main things is exercise, you know, and since I live on a farm, I am a pretty active person. Keep yourself moving, watch what you're eating, you know, it's all important for your health.